While Glock didn't invent the first polymer pistol, it was actually beaten to that by HK's VP70 or Volks pistol. It developed the first commercially successful polymer-framed handgun and revolutionized the firearm industry, popularizing the use of plastics in pistols. With the goal of developing a pistol for the Austrian military and law enforcement, this new pistol had to be ready to fire at a moment's notice in life-threatening situations. Today, after 30 plus years, they are still one of the most popular handguns in the world of firearms. Glock pistols first came out in 1982 with the introduction of the Glock 17. Since then, Glocks have come in all different shapes and sizes, from full-size, compact, to subcompact models with a diverse availability and calibers. One of the biggest criticisms Glock has gotten over the years is the lack of innovation since its entry into the gun world. Your typical Glock, regardless of the actual innovation that did take place, aesthetically speaking, looks the same. Maritime spring cubs come in handy if water, oil, or debris get inside your Glock firing pin channel. It will still function, and it will still fire, without having to field strip your Glock. Then there's the MOS system, trigger improvements, just to name a few others. Now you guys, really, let's ignore that completely. We want real innovation, like a redesigned slide with sexy serrations. Still, these blocky plain Jane firearms have a cult-like fan base, and for good reason. Durability is paramount. You want a firearm that can take any ammo you can throw at it, from cheap steel cases to the good stuff. A firearm that can run with an infrequent maintenance schedule and will fire wet, dry, dirty from being buried and dug up. Nothing is perfect in this world, but the right Glock comes in pretty darn close. Reliability resides in simplicity, and therefore Gaston Glock designed his pistol with as few parts as possible, minimizing its complexity. According to the Glock website, today, Glock pistols are made from an average of only 35 parts, which is significantly fewer than any other pistol on the market, and it makes it more durable, reliable, and easier to maintain. With how popular the platform has been since 1982, still up until today in 2025, it's beyond reasonable to say that Glock is tested and trusted by the best, and that Glock keeps showing up to meet the expectations as far as performance for law enforcement, military, and civilian applications. Honestly, when it comes down to it, it's all personal preference. Personally, for me, I bought my first Glock because the second I grabbed the pistol grip on the 19, it just felt right. It felt better than the skinnier shield that I was carrying, which that was also a double stack. Yeah, I know, they're two different sizes of pistol. One's a compact, and one's a sub. But I still remember the first time I put a Glock in my hand, and the feeling it gave me. Then, when I put the 19X in my hand a few years later, I had to get one of those too. When I shot that 19X with its full-size grip but shorter slide, refined trigger, I fell in love with Glock all over again. I still believe it's the best Glock ever made. In my home and in my gun collection, I'm not at the point where I'm buying range toys.
Every firearm that I have is bought with the intent of being a practical tool for a SHTF scenario, chambered in abundantly available calibers, and with the potential for upgrades to the firearm in the future, a strong ecosystem for modifications, and the ability to run a chassis if I so choose to. Glock checked all of these boxes for me. The Glock patents have since expired, paving a way for a new wave of Glock platform pistols that are actually Glock clones, like the Shadow Systems, the PSA Dagger, and the ZEV OZ9. There's still innovations like the modular twist that companies like ZEV have put on the platform, but they're true to the blueprint and large. These are Glock clones. They're copying Glock for a reason. Did you copy the failing students' answers or homework in school? If I was holding a microphone, this would be the time to drop
Pretty compelling historical evidence, I would say. But I'm not just a Glock fanboy. I have a Smith & Wesson, love it. I have Taurus, and I like FNs. But for me, being the head of a multi-person family household, streamlining is very important to me. And both of these are safe. Okay. If you take a look, this is kind of what I mean by streamlining. Both of these Glocks have the Hollow Sun SCS on it. And the cool thing about the SCS is it's certainly not the best Hollow Sun. But you have this little solar panel thing at the top, right? And you can just leave this running. There's no need for a shake awake. There's an internal battery. You're not going to burn the battery out. And that's why both of these Glocks have this optic on them. Now, if you've ever had an optic, you know that sometimes they have different buttons or controls. This one has this little button right here. This little white rectangle here, this will change the brightness, this will change the reticle itself, and it will turn the optic on or off. And the whole idea behind my obsession with streamlining everything for my family is just, you know, it really doesn't matter what is around. My wife can grab either of these pistols and she knows how to use them. The buttons, the controls are all the same, right? And just the modularity aspect of, you know, the Glock platform, the price point, it's hard to compete with, if you ask me. One of the best guns out there, especially if you're just a beginner and you're looking to get into firearms. I highly recommend the Glock platform. In terms of modularity, I really like the 19 and the 19X. Once again, a safe firearm, right? And one of the reasons that I like them so much is because it's kind of the best of both worlds, right? You have the 19X right here. This is a full-length pistol grip. So essentially, this is a full-size, it's a Glock 17, and it's a full-size pistol with a Glock 19 length slide, right? And you have the Glock 19, right? Safe firearm. And this is designed to be concealed and carried. So you have a shorter, it's the same slide, same length, all right? But you've got two different sizes of pistol grip. You can see that the 19X is just a little bit longer than the 19. And this is not anything big, but if you want to get crazy and you want to start mixing and matching, if you have a 19, you have a 19X, you can just switch the slides, right? So now, instead of having just the stock 19X and 19, you can have a two-tone pistol. So you gotta get to play with it a little bit, and you can make different guns without having to paint anything. And if you don't like it, you can always switch it back. In terms of modularity, all you need is a chassis system like I have right here. So this chassis, this is called the, this is from Recover Tactical. And I'm gonna show you guys how cool this thing is. And Glock is not the only platform that this kind of stuff is made for, but with the aftermarket support in general that Glock has, you might as well do this for Glock. This particular chassis cost me, they were running a flash sale, so I want to say it was 160 bucks, right? So I'm going to go ahead and slide this in here. And this is not only like a little foregrip, it also holds a magazine, which we're not going to put a magazine in here right now. And now you have a little personal defense weapon, PDW, out of your Glock. And it took me less than a minute to set this up. If I want to tear it down, I'll show you guys this too. It's got a folding stock. It could be shot like this as well. I'm going to make a video on this another time because this thing is actually pretty cool. But I just wanted to showcase that even though that it's this simple little pistol, you know, there's a lot of cool things you can do with it, and it's a good starting point for a beginner. Because when you first get into firearms, there's so many firearms out there, there's so many options that you might not necessarily know, you know, what you even want. And in that case, you really should go and you should shoot a couple guns and figure out what fits your hand the best, what caliber, you know, you're going to be carrying, whether it's 9mm or you're going to be carrying a 40, you're going to be one of those guys. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to show you guys the recovery tactical chassis as well. And it's just this one Allen key right here. And this one screw comes right out. Open her up. Boom. And then let's say I don't like this two-tone action we have going on right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and switch the slides back out. Now I know there's companies out there like Zev that truly make a modular firearm, and the couple examples that I showed you with these two today, they're not fully modular. I understand that, but if you're in the market for a Zev, you're going to be spending around $1,500 to $1,600, and the Glock 19, this one right here, I think I bought this for high 400, 500 bucks. Granted, you know, it didn't come with the hollow sun, didn't come with the light, it didn't come with the micro compensators. So those are all things that I added on over time. But I was able to get into this platform for not very much money at all. The Glock 19X, this was a different story. Okay, this is the MOS, so it's not the first generation of the 19X, and this did come with the threaded barrel. It did not come with the hollow sun, obviously, and actually neither of these pistols came. They have the same night sights. They didn't come with that either. So I believe this one was low 700s compared to like maybe 5, right, for the 19. So after I put this hollow sun, the night sights, and even the light on the 19, I still didn't spend as much money as I would have if I just purchased a Zev. Okay, and I understand the Zev comes out of the box with some night sights, and it comes optics ready, and I understand. I'm not a Zev hater. Actually, I really like them. But just in terms of getting into firearms and being a beginner, you know, maybe that's not the first thing you should look at. And it's one of the things that makes Glock so great. So thank you guys for watching my video. Let me know in the comments what your favorite Glock is, and we'll see you next time.